get started here. We call the Leominster Planning Board meeting together for November 20th, 2023 at 6:30. At first, we have a continued open public meeting for site plan application for 468 Main Street, map 241, parcel 2, car wash.
I have a letter from the applicant. Would you like me to read that, Chair?
Okay, I'll open up the other one. Open the continued open public hearing for a special permit application for 468 Main Street, map 241, parcel 2, car wash. So both the public meeting and public hearing are open. You have a letter.
Elizabeth, on behalf of the applicant Noria Energy Retail Incorporated, we would like to formally request an extension to the next scheduled planning board meeting, December 4th, 2023, for the site plan review and special permit application of the proposed golden nozzle car wash of 468 Main Street. We're currently working through traffic comments issued today, 11/16, and feel that extension will provide us ample time to reply to all the comments and for the peer review engaged to review any responses. Between now and December 4th, we will work closely with staff and the Manassas Associates to address all questions and concerns. Thank you, Casey Birch.
Okay. So I can request to continue to the December, was that 4th?
Yeah. December 4th.
December 4th meeting.
At 6:30.
We have an item at 6:30, it would have to be at 6:35.
Okay, that's the motion.
Second.
The motion of 6:35,
And 6:36.
December 4th. I have a motion made and seconded, continued to 6:35 December 4th on the open public meeting. Do I have any further discussion? Oh, before I do that, do I have any other comment from the audience? Okay, hearing none. I'll call for the vote on this. We continue to December 4th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
And then 6:36 for the special permit.
I have a motion for 6:36 for December 4th for the special permit. Open public hearing. Okay, again, open to the, any comments from the audience? Hearing none. Membership, do I have any further comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
You got 1 minute for the 6:35.
Let's,
Less than
do-
a minute.
Let's do the minutes.
Just in a minute, okay.
Make a move to.
Call to order.
Call to order, regular meeting.
Patrick Perla.
Here.
Paul Weiser.
Here.
Sasha Koenig.
Yeah.
Robert Torioso. Excuse. Tom Kerrigan.
Yes.
Jason Parre.
Here.
Dean Valier.
Here.
John Souza.
Minutes of previous meetings.
I move to approve the
October 2nd.
Second minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the October 2nd. Do I have any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Now I move to approve
It's
the October
6:35.
16th.
Okay, I have a motion made and seconded for the October 16th minutes. Do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Sure.
We go back to open public meeting for a site plan application for 21 Jungle Road, map 301, parcel 1, manufacturing.
That's on Dean's mark.
but I can tell you since it's 65. It's very rare.
For the record, Chris Anderson, Hannigan Engineering, here on behalf of Capital Group Properties LLC, for a manufacturing building up at 21 Jungle Road. This was before the board at a previous hearing. At that hearing, concern was related to us and the applicant relative to traffic flow in and around the old mill Jungle Road property, as well as internal traffic flow as well. So we went back and re-reviewed the turn maneuvers and accessibility perspective of traffic on the site, and wanted to provide this to the board ahead of doing a full redesign on the traffic flow and things like that, to get to the existing impact from the board. So if the board may remember, originally there was a truck entrance that was located at along Old Mill Road that would provide access to the loading dock area on the east side of the property itself. There's a secondary entrance for employee traffic in the westerly portion of the site, as well as a secondary entrance along Jungle Road. We re-reviewed the entire traffic flow, and what we've done is we've restricted the Old Mill Road to be a purely emergency access point for emergency vehicles to gain access to the property. And then, which would prevent any large vehicle traffic, trucks, box trucks, all the sort, from entering onto this area and forcing them to go over to Jungle Road. Jungle Road entrance, we widened out the entryway to account for the turning maneuvers, and have confirmed that a truck can get into the loading dock area and back to the corresponding loading spaces themselves. What this does is helps minimize truck traffic along Old Mill Road. So now that it's purely just employee traffic, if you will. We've also taken a look at what the existing widths of Old Mill Road are. Currently, it sits around 33.6 curb to curb. To 33.9 feet, so it's just shy of the subdivision regulations for the width of the road. So the road is plenty wide enough in order to account for that traffic flow. And relative to that, as the traffic engineer reviewed at the previous hearing, the vast majority of the traffic is intended to go to Jungle Road and then ultimately to 117. Vehicle traffic going to the west is expected to be only about 10% of the anticipated overall traffic flow, so very minimal. But with that being said, we want to bring this before the board, get their initial feedback before we go into full pre-review.
Chris, how are you gonna restrict, that narrow entrance, right? How, you're just gonna put signage there?
So we'll put
Maybe anything else?
we'll put signage within the entryway saying no vehicle access, emergency access only. Additionally to that, we can provide additional truck signage along the Jungle Road saying truck traffic for 21 Jungle this way. Don't go that way kind of mentality.
And use that entrance, you're gonna mark that for the truck traffic as well, right?
Yes, this would be signage saying truck traffic only. Also, this driveway would now become increasingly narrower, so trucks aren't going to make it through that.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have signage there for no
Yep.
trucks, only emergency, whatever, right?
Correct.
If there's a sign there, it's too late. The truck's pulled up that street, it's too late.
Yeah, good point.
He's not going under
If
the
it's
underpass.
narrow
Well, no,
enough,
he just said he was gonna have it at the corner, you're gonna have
Yeah, we'll have traffic.
signage here,
So we also have
traffic
this
signage.
triangular
Yeah, yeah.
parcel.
Hopefully the GPS is gonna bring him up.
Yeah,
He can try, but he's not getting through.
well, if the address.
well, if the address says 21 Jungle,
Yeah,
they'll go to 21
which would be a
Jungle.
good thing, and
Signage would have to be in
glad you pulled it away from right next to Old Mill Road, that's a real good improvement. And the radiuses are all real good in there?
Yep, so we've done the initial truck turning maneuvers through the entire area, and everything works.
Could a trailer, like Jason mentioned, could a trailer truck, if it went up that way, get through there?
It would be incredibly difficult. They would
Yeah, 'cause
They
it's
would have to
too
pull
narrow.
effectively into this and then try to do a million point turn to get out, but
Yeah.
the signage and everything that along the intersection saying truck traffic to 21 Jungle, and the fact that the property is currently 21 Jungle,
Yep.
you're kind of inclined to go to Jungle Road instead of Old Mill Road.
So, first thank you for making the changes.
Yes.
It's a big improvement and I appreciate it. I just wanna ask a question on the traffic study that was included. I assume this is after the changes or this is prior to the changes?
For,
That's
Prior.
Oh, this is prior, okay, well then that answers
Right,
my
yeah.
yes, so
It still
that's
talks
all,
about entrances on
yeah,
Jungle,
yeah,
so that's
so
been
once we
resolved.
get, course, general consensus, we'll update everything accordingly.
Good enough for me.
And that's,
Yeah, I just
that's
want,
dealing with the other, I'm sorry, John,
go ahead.
dealing with the other traffic engineers that are currently,
Correct, we would,
working on
we would
the other
incorporate the
projects.
previous traffic studies into this new one and then have that sent out.
Okay. I just wanted to find something, is that, you're showing it on there, you're showing loading docks, you're showing manufacturing, okay? And we gotta have one or the other, and we decided with manufacturing. Now you can show it on your drawing, but this, your engineer is still using the numbers for a terminal, okay, rather than a manufacturing facility. So that's what it says in here anyway.
So that was again previous to.
Well, that's previous, yeah,
But I'll relay that.
but I
to
just
traffic.
wanted to make a note, as I read that, he was referenced it as a trucking terminal.
Yeah.
And the numbers for manufacturing and trucking terminal are different.
Probably a lot more than what.
so Chris, the
Yeah.
numbers, to go along with John's statement, do you have enough, employee parking or parking spaces that coordinate with the manufacturing, specs?
Correct, yes, we took that into account during the initial parking calculation. And we've
Okay.
received several comments from the various departments, it's a lot of, give us the truck tire maneuvers and. with-
Right, I saw that, and I saw this, yeah.
Well, it's a nice improvement.
Yep.
Be nicer for the business as well.
Okay. I think that,
On the right track.
Yeah.
So we need to continue the hearing again.
it continue.
Well, we need, I guess what they're looking for is how do we feel about the new design?
Well, I think
Do
we
have to
told them
make
that,
any
it'll be in our
motion?
minutes.
Do we have to make any motions?
Uh,
All that, do we?
no.
I think
No,
the board's general consensus is.
It'll general consensus on that plan. We can't vote on,
No.
On a note on the drawing. okay, but on the general consensus is that the drawing and in the minutes that you'll take, that.
Yep.
And I'll state that the notes made on the drawings at
Need
this
to be
point are in general agreement with the board
When do you
at
want
this
this
time.
continued?
Well, except for.
at this time.
Except for the.
Well, and they're gonna have to come in with a marking plan and the sign plan and
So we have
and
December
that's-
4th and then after that.
January
the Friday,
January.
right.
Does that work?
Yeah, I think January is the more.
So I move to continue the hearing until January 8th at 6:30?
And did you wanna get quotes for peer review?
I thought we did that last week, no?
We talked about it, but we didn't do it because you weren't okay on the design yet.
Oh, well, yes, we should certainly, do it. So let's make that motion first.
The fire
Yeah, we have to
truck
do that
get in there,
first.
Right, Chris, in your emergency,
I
the
think
ladder could get in?
We can do it.
Okay,
Alright, so the motion is to get quotes for a traffic peer review.
oh, to accept the quote, we have a quote,
Sorry, to accept a quote for the peer review.
I have a motion made and seconded to
I have
accept the
to
quote from,
solicit
from
three, I
Vanessa
have to
Hagan?
solicit, no, we didn't get them yet.
No, we have to have.
We have to
three
solicit
bids.
3 quotes,
Oh, but I had, well, I had it for the wrong place.
not for
Sorry.
this one yet. We did it for 468 Main Street, but not
Right,
for
right.
New Jungle.
So that's the
Okay,
motion.
so the motion would be
to
in order to,
solicit quotes
to
for
solicit
traffic peer
quotes.
review.
I'll give it my
for a
second.
peer review.
It'll again be seconded.
Wasn't that whole site kind of built for a lot more traffic? You put Walmart in there, you put all
Well,
the stores in, it went on.
Originally, you're right,
It was,
But
So
it outgrew
why does everybody wants to put a building up on the side of it need it?
Cause they didn't account for it in the studies for Walmart and the pads they.
and the growth has been more than they
And the
anticipated.
traffic has been worse than anticipated.
It's true, it's,
We've exceeded those numbers
Their
already.
development.
Remember, that was 20 years
included all those pads for businesses.
Aye.
You've got a motion on the
Yeah.
table.
The peer review will take care of that.
Hey, thank you for the work.
I have a
you're
motion
doing.
made to request quotes for a peer review on
And go for lowest bid.
Jungle Road, down Jungle Road.
To learn.
I have a motion on, I have a second.
Second, that.
Sal, okay. Motion made, do I have a discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion
And
carries.
now I move to continue the hearing until January 8th at 6:00.
Good
6:30.
job.
Okay, and move that to, have a motion to continue the open public meeting for what'd you say, January
January
8th,
6:30.
6:30. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, no new plans submitted. Old business, site plan application for 468 Main Street, map 241, parcel 2, car wash. This has been continued. 4.2, special permit application for 468 Main Street, map 241, parcel 2, car wash. This has been continued both to December 4th. 4.3, site plan application for 21 Jungle Road, map 301, parcel 1 of manufacturing. This has been continued to January 8th. Okay. Says here we have an executive session.
So we need a motion to move into executive.
Well, new business, there's none.
If you can just read the executive session, John.
I didn't think we had to.
We have to close out, we have to go to,
Well, you have to
we
read
have to put down.
6.1 out loud.
Where's the cone and
Yeah.
it's not.
And then the
Just shut the camera.
Cone of secrecy or
First,
something.
we gotta read that.
No, I gotta read this first.
Yeah.
The planning board will enter an executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws 30A, Section 22A, for the purpose of reviewing an executive session meeting minutes from 10/16/2023 and potential approval of these minutes. The planning board will reconvene at the end of the executive session. So, I have a motion to enter into the executive session.
Yep, so moved.
Motion made and seconded. Okay, please shut off the camera. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
They say no, motion carried. Communication, Sawyer Way, Dean Street subdivision update.
Was there a gentleman out in the hall that wanted to be part of that? No? Alright, we have before us a document that the chairman signed today to accept the roughly $84,000 from the developer. And we've consulted with legal counsel for the next steps for how to handle this. We don't know if we have to go to city council or if we are gonna meet with DPW and have a meeting to prioritize what to do next.
Basically, what we're interested, we have $84,000. And the total project, if we did everything, was $220. So it's not gonna happen, we know it's not gonna happen. So,
I'm sure it wasn't 220 when it did.
no, it wasn't, but it is now. And so what happened is because of, everything has gone up, but we don't have enough money to complete everything. So what I'm proposing is two things. First is to have, sit down with the DPW and get an itemized list of what the individual things cost today. So there's a guardrail, there's the resurfacing of the road,
Sidewalks.
the granite curbs, and also we'll have to get a separate one from, I'm not sure we do it from what it would cost for the legal work to accept the road for all the easements and the deeds. And that would have to be a taking of the city. So, but that would probably be separate. The other part is that we're looking to define is once we get these different, like the guardrail and the road and the sidewalks and, that we have a open meeting with invite the residents from that road. Okay, and let them, say, here's a priority, we've got $84,000, this is what covered. What are your priorities and what you'd like to see done, okay? So that's the route where we'd like to go. There is some question whether, how this should be done, whether we should do it or whether the Ward One City Council should do it.
Why don't we invite the board?
And well, we also intend to do that.
Yeah.
So, but we haven't done that before, but I think it's important that the people, they were very adamant up front that they have some say on where we set the priorities and what gets done,
That's a great idea, John.
okay?
Do they know that, cause they were so involved, and I don't know if they've been calling the office, but have they been updated as to any of
They
what's
get the
going on?
minutes of our meetings and,
So they know that we already moved.
well, what they don't know is, because of the things we've gone, most of it's been done in executive session.
Yeah.
So they don't get the minutes of the meeting, so they don't know. So generally, they know we're working on it.
Yep.
But because it was all because of the legalese,
Right.
and we had to go into executive session.
Yep.
They do not know that we finalized, we had to agree on the 84,000. So that's what we've got to work with, and that's where we wanna go now. Okay?
Yep.
So we're trying to define that. Elizabeth's double checking with legal, and especially where we're gonna have a new city councilor for that ward. We may invite both the old and the new, cause I can't see us doing this getting it done before January, I don't know.
No.
Okay, but my guess is probably sometime January. They gotta determine the DPW, cause they've gotta do some work to come up with the figures. Okay?
Yeah, plan based, well, that's after we.
Right.
Everybody get consensus.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're trying to be upfront, let everybody know, hey, we got this bucket of money.
Yep.
These are the things that we can do. This is where we wanna set the priorities, and our target is to get them done in the spring.
And so just to clarify and reiterate for the record and for those watching at home who weren't privy to the executive session, right?
What's that?
Who
They're not
weren't
privy,
to
they can't discuss the
No, that's
executive.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had a laundry list of items that needed to be completed for the sum of almost $250,000.
Right,
But we had to settle for
$84,000.
$85,000. To avoid litigation.
That's correct.
Well, it wasn't just a litigation.
Well, there was no,
case,
again,
it was
what
a
happened
whole
was,
statute.
Statute of
Literally,
limitations was
yeah.
over.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
for the record, this is the pot of money that
Yep.
we have to play with.
Yep.
And
it was the
What
original,
makes
we have
sense
a
to
list
do
of
first.
things that we're gonna be able to fix.
Or,
And those
you know, what
residents
everybody
watching at home
decides.
now
Yeah.
can prioritize their list. And
they
so
had
talk to
some,
the
they
city
had some
councilor
serious safety,
and come visit us.
right,
they had some serious
Voice their
safety
concern.
issues that stuck out more than any of the other
and
things.
maybe we can do some other things to save money, rather than putting in a great big guardrail, maybe we could put in a chain link fence,
Yeah.
which would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some things like that we could do also,
That,
okay?
the
So in other
the
words,
residents
we
now
went
can
like-
decide if
what happened is
potholes
the
are more
people that-
important or if a guardrail is more important.
Right.
The company that did it, has gone belly up, they do not exist. There were 3 partners, 2 of the 3 partners are deceased.
Yeah.
So we're just dealing with one guy and he's pretty much out of business, so.
But the city dropped it, we dropped it.
That's right,
We did,
it should have been,
and the statute
been
of
addressed
Should've
limitations,
been able
10
to
years,
sell any
7
lot
years
unless
ago.
that was all.
that's right, and
we
we,
shouldn't have released any.
Or
we should know it,
a decade of
well, at the time,
neighborhoods that were developed, we dropped it.
well, let me go back, yeah, let me explain something. Remember, this will go back 15 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Prices were a lot cheaper, and at the time,
Yeah, but
I'm
talking about before it gets to that, never mind how much it is, he shouldn't have been able to finish the project unless he finishes what he's supposed to,
that's right,
okay? The
But
last 4 or 5 lots shouldn't have been released, should have been able to be built on.
We
Unless
released
everything's
those
done.
lots
so
prior.
let me explain what happened. We've changed the procedure. The procedure at that time is that we went to the DPW and requested a estimate on the cost, okay? Primarily, they gave us an estimate on the cost of finishing the road. They did not give us a cost of the
Or the-
easements,
Right, or
of the
safety measures.
the safety measures, or doing the
Sidewalks,
legal,
guardrails,
the legal work,
lighting.
it's outside of their purview. Today, that process has changed, is that we hire, as part of the project, a company outside of DPW to give us a cost prior to releasing the last two lots. Okay, or whatever lots we have. So we learn from our mistakes, but closing the barn door after the horse is gone is the
But why
way.
should we be trying to find prices when it's just finish the job?
We can't finish.
Yeah, they're gone.
Oh, no, he's
I'm talking about 15 years ago.
Oh, 15?
Why the hell,
Well,
why does it get to this? How many of these projects?
because we thought
I've been here for 20 years and a number of projects this is.
Tony, I think the bond they put in place, when they came from, this is my,
Why wasn't
I
it fixed
remember-
12 years ago when the bond was
no,
worth
what
$85,000?
I'm thinking is.
Cause all that
is-
work would have been 85,000 10
Right,
Yeah.
that's right,
You know what I mean?
and we shouldn't, they put the bond in place to
But there was.
release those lots, and it matched up, but we should have made them do the work immediately.
It's gotta be
Right.
done.
Yeah, should have been done.
I
Oh,
agree.
we'll trust you.
The department had staffing shortages for many years.
There were a number of things that happened.
Enforcement, Tom.
We don't have any enforcement,
right?
There's a whole,
We're not the enforcement.
I don't wanna get into the politics, because we do get into the politics of it. Okay, let's just put it this way, because
Just
of
bad.
staff shortages
We did
and we didn't, it wasn't followed up by the city, that would get it done when it should have been done. So that's all we can say at this point.
That's what it is.
We've corrected it now, the same thing doesn't happen, if somebody comes in now, we have it gets engineered, we look at the total drawings, we look at the easements, we look at, and we look at the paperwork, including to get all of the deeds corrected, so the city is really ready to take eminent domain with no
Oh,
further
not even
costs.
eminent, just accept the road.
Well, that's the process,
Yeah.
okay, that's the
Yeah,
process.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's eminent domain, but
Yeah,
it's a friendly taking,
yes.
okay? So that's the process, so
Yeah.
have we cleaned up our act? I hope so, we've made a lot of changes, made changes to the we've been working on this for about 3 years now. We have changed, 5 years, but we hadn't changed the subdivision regulations before we could make the changes to do what we can do today. So that all takes time. So we have a cleaner process today. And
Well,
that's all I can say.
The thing is, it didn't happen anywhere else that I know,
oh yeah,
There's
we
a lot
do.
of subdivisions you
There's
did.
Oh, yeah.
There was unfinished stuff, but
Neighborhoods
not as
all
bad
over
as
the
this one.
Sidewalks,
Not as
yeah,
bad
I
as
mean,
this
you
one.
get done, there's another one
This
on
one
the,
here, it's not
we
even
got
safe.
one
We'll
that's
have
been,
more to work on, we're gonna bring them up.
Yeah,
we've got
yeah,
one 24 years ago. And we're still sitting there with $13,000.
I think my statement might be unaccepted still.
The money's in our treasury,
Half the streets.
so I mean, what do we do with it,
Around the corner from Myers Road there. It's horrible, it's a smell.
Yeah,
The neighbors had to pay to pave the road. Out of their pockets privately.
yeah,
And that's
So there were
not
roads
fair
like
when you're
that.
paying taxes.
Danielle Drive or something.
yeah, so we're trying to clean those things up, but problem is there are a lot of roads in the city. A lot of subdivisions were done in the 60s, 50s and 60s. And in those days, I saw
In the
the
early 80s.
I saw the subdivision regulations, basically it was that. It was 6 pages or 8 pages folded over. And that was our total subdivision regulations in the
And
60s.
most of the
That was
contractors.
even before me.
Yeah, and it was written by the contractor, so.
It was about 4 of them.
So they, and that's what they did, they built their house and they got their roads, but there was no process at that time to get the roads accepted by the city.
There is no, so we're good.
Okay, so, and it's really something we gotta do because every road that we get accepted by the city, it affects that chapter 90 funds. The chapter funds are based on accepted roads, not your total roads, but accepted roads. But on the other hand, we get roads like, Granite Street, that goes all the way up to the Newtown, up the reservoir.
Yeah.
And you get
Well,
most,
it is.
it ends about a quarter of a mile past the high
That's
school.
parking lot for the trail.
And
Is it dirt after that?
it's all,
Yeah.
you'd need a 4-wheel drive to get up there.
And
Yeah.
you can't go as far as used to not guarantee anymore to get up there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm at the other end.
Alright,
So, no, that's all
Alright, that's-
fun,
that's-
you know,
Alright.
but that's, that's what we get, so,
Alrighty then, that's the game tonight,
When's the tip-off?
okay.
okay?
Was
that 7-1
that
we're
was
on?
7-1.
that was 7-1.
Okay,
Do you have anything to add, Elizabeth?
I just, for January, we have 2 holidays on the January meeting dates. We have New Year's Day and then we have Martin Luther King Day, so we need to have a January meeting. The meeting room is not available the 3rd week in January. It's available January 8th, so we can have a meeting January 8th in the library.
We've already scheduled, so.
I'll be gone January
We
seventh.
just have to vote on it.
well, you can call in.
Call in.
Yeah,
I'll probably be driving, but.
You have a car on your phone, is it car?
No, I don't have one of those.
Oh, yeah, right.
So January 8th is the next
So
meeting.
that's-
January 8th,
So
okay,
January, that's a Tuesday,
It's a Monday.
it's a Monday?
it's a Monday, January.
So I
Okay.
move,
Yep.
I move
So,
January
okay.
8th as our meeting date at the
Second.
library.
For January,
for January-
Yep.
You live in-
Works for me.
for January 8th,
At the library.
The
so,
library.
And you only, and.
so I have a motion made and seconded for our January meeting to be held on January 8th in the library. Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. The director's report.
I'm in the process of renewing my AICP certification. I have 5 hours left. I'm feverishly working to get my credits in so that I can renew my AICP. I'll get it done.
Get it done,
I'll get it done.
get it done.
Plugging away.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
That was,
Motion carries.